Hey, welcome to ChristCast. I'm Mark, and here I have the honor of doing something that most of us dream of doing. I get to ask Jesus the questions we all carry in our hearts, but are often too afraid to speak out loud. Today's question is one that's quietly haunting millions of people around the world, maybe even you right now. Jesus, why do I have anxiety? It seems simple, but it's not. Anxiety creeps in even when everything seems fine. It lives in the background, tightens the chest, dries the mouth, speeds up the heartbeat, even during prayer, even in moments of faith. And today, I'm not holding anything back. I'm gonna ask him. And maybe, just maybe, this conversation will change something inside of you too. Jesus, are you there?
I am, Mark. I've always been here. Before the question, before the fear. I was already with you.
So why do I have anxiety?
Because your heart is carrying a weight it was never meant to carry. You're constantly trying to be strong, trying to predict what's next, trying to control what can't be controlled. And in the middle of it all, you forget to breathe. Anxiety isn't a flaw, it's a signal. A cry from within saying, I'm overwhelmed. I can't keep going like this. But you've learned to silence the cry, to keep functioning while you're breaking, and that slowly drains you. You live as if stopping means failing. But what if stopping is the beginning of healing? Anxiety shows up when your soul forgets where to rest, when it tries to survive alone, disconnected from me. That's when fear becomes the loudest voice in the room.
So, it's not weakness.
No, it's your soul asking for help, and that is strength.
Most of my anxiety, it comes from the future, from the unknown. Like I'm always bracing for something bad to happen, even when everything's okay.
Because you've come to believe that uncertainty is dangerous. You think that if you're not prepared for everything, something will fall apart. But Mark, not everything hidden is a threat. Some things are hidden because they're still growing. You see the future as a cliff, but I see it as a garden. Not all seeds have sprouted, but the soil is good. Anxiety thrives when you try to harvest what hasn't even been planted. You're rushing a timeline that isn't yours to control. What you're really doing is trying to protect yourself from pain. But in doing that, you also shield yourself from peace, from joy, from trust. You want control because it feels safer. But control is an illusion. I never promised control. I promised presence. And I'm not in the what ifs. I'm in the I am.
I've always felt like if I don't take care of it, no one will.
That's because you've lived under pressure instead of peace. But pressure is not your purpose. You don't have to be the glue holding everything together. I already am. You are not the savior of your situation. You're the sun. You don't have to have the answers. You just have to stay close to me.
Another thing that feeds my anxiety is comparison. Looking around and feeling behind. Like everyone's doing more, achieving more, living better.
Comparison is a trap. You're measuring yourself with the ruler I never gave you. You've started believing that being valuable means being visible. But I don't measure greatness by applause. I measure it by faithfulness. You admire the highlight reels, but you don't see the behind the scenes. And when you compare, you stop looking at me. Comparison isn't just unfair, it's exhausting. It steals your clarity, your identity, your peace. You are not them, and you were never supposed to be. Your story is not behind. It's unfolding exactly as I designed it. I don't need you to be the best. I just want you to be real. With me. And with yourself.
But I still feel like I'm not enough.
Because you've listened to the wrong voice for too long. The voice of fear says you're falling behind. You're not doing enough. You're not worthy. But that's not me. My voice says you are mine. You are loved. You don't have to prove anything. When you remember who you are and whose you are, anxiety loses its grip.
What if I forget who I am again? What if I wake up tomorrow and all of this comes rushing back? The doubt, the fear, the noise.
Then we start again. Grace doesn't run out just because you do. You don't need to get it right once and for all. You just need to come back. Every day, every hour if needed. That's not failure, that's relationship. Think about how a child runs back to their parent, not because they failed, but because they know where they're safe. You're not disqualified because you're struggling. You're just human. And I'm not asking you to be fearless, I'm asking you to be honest. Come to me as you are, not as you think you should be.
I try, but sometimes, when I pray, I don't hear anything back. There's just silence. And the silence feels heavier than the fear itself.
That's because you've been taught to equate silence with absence. But I don't leave when I'm quiet. I get closer. Silence is not me withholding love. It's me deepening your roots. You see, noise gives you quick comfort, but silence gives you lasting strength. Have you ever noticed how trees grow in silence? Not with fireworks, not with applause. Just slow, steady, hidden growth. That's what I'm doing in you when things feel still. You may think nothing is happening, but under the surface, I'm building a foundation you'll need later. So no, I'm not ignoring you. I'm inviting you to listen differently. Not just with your ears, but with your heart.
So, what do I do when my heart is loud, but you feel quiet?
Bring me the noise, all of it. Don't wait for it to calm down before coming to me. Let me into the chaos. Let me into the panic, the racing thoughts, the questions you haven't told anyone. You don't need a polished prayer. You need a surrendered moment. Some of the most powerful prayers are just 2 words, help me, or even one, Jesus. I hear it all. Even the prayers you only think in your head but never say out loud. Even the tears on your pillow. Even the breath you hold when anxiety tightens your chest. You're not alone in those moments. You never were.
It's hard to believe you're really that close sometimes.
That's why I keep reminding you. Because I knew you'd forget. That's why I speak in sunsets, in unexpected hugs, in songs that hit you out of nowhere, in that stranger who smiled at you when you thought no one noticed. That was me. I speak in more ways than your ears can hear. So look with your heart, Mark, and tell the fear inside you, even if I don't see him right now, I know he's here, because I am.
Jesus, what if someone listening right now is in a really dark place, like rock bottom? What would you say to them?
I'd say this: you are not too far, not too broken, not too late. Darkness doesn't scare me. I do my best work in tombs. You may feel like your story is over, but I haven't finished writing it. And you don't need to climb out of the pit to find me. I came down into it just to be with you. Even in your lowest moment, you are still wildly loved. Not a little, not when you're better. Now, right here, exactly as you are. So, if you're hearing my voice through this podcast, don't run away. Stay with me. I can handle your mess. I'm not afraid of your pain, and I'm not in a hurry.
That part right there, I do my best work in tombs. Wow.
Well, resurrections are kind of my specialty.
You know, that line, it makes me think. Most of the time, when I'm anxious, it's because I feel like something inside me has died. My peace, my joy, sometimes even my hope. And I keep trying to bring those things back on my own, but I can't.
And you're not supposed to.
Dead things don't resurrect themselves, Mark. That's my job. Your job is to bring me what's lifeless and trust that I can breathe on it again. You keep trying to fix your anxiety by working harder, praying harder, pretending harder. But peace doesn't come from performance. It comes from presence, my presence. The more you strive, the tighter the knot gets. The more you surrender,
the softer it becomes. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you laughed without guilt? Or rested without planning the next thing? Or just sat and felt sunlight without checking your phone?
Honestly, I can't even remember.
That's part of it. You've turned your mind into a battlefield that never rests, and anxiety loves that. It feeds on your pace, on your hurry, on your constant search for control. You think being busy keeps you safe, but often it just keeps you distracted from what your soul is really trying to say. I miss peace. You don't heal by speeding up, Mark. You heal by slowing down enough to notice me in the small things, in a deep breath, in a quiet morning, in the sound of your own heartbeat. Peace isn't far. It's just been drowned out by noise.
So how do I quiet the noise, Jesus? How do I actually live that peace, not just talk about it?
Start by recognizing what doesn't deserve your attention. Every day, the world sells you 1,000 reasons to be anxious. Headlines, deadlines, notifications, comparisons. They all say, look at me, worry about me. But I'm inviting you to look somewhere else. Look up. Look within. Peace begins when you stop feeding what frightens you. When you wake up, don't start with your phone. Start with gratitude. Whisper something like, I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm still loved. You'd be surprised how much anxiety loses power when you anchor your day in truth instead of fear. And Mark, make space for silence again. Not the heavy kind, the healing kind. Turn off the noise sometimes. Let me speak in the quiet. You don't need more information, you need more connection.
That sounds freeing, but it's hard. It feels like peace is this fragile thing. One bad thought and it's gone.
Peace isn't fragile, Mark. You are. And that's okay. But my peace is stronger than your storms. It's not built on emotion, it's built on truth. You think peace means the absence of problems, but it means the presence of me, right in the middle of them. Imagine you're on a boat and the water starts to rise. Anxiety tells you to start bailing out the water faster, but I'm standing right there saying, look at me, not the waves. The waves will always exist, but when your eyes are fixed on me, they lose their power to drown you.
You make it sound so simple.
Simple doesn't mean easy. Faith rarely is, but it's worth it. Every time you choose trust over panic, you reclaim a piece of your peace. And you'll fall sometimes. You'll forget. You'll spiral, but that's okay. Each time you return, I'll still be here. Same grace, same patience, same love. I don't measure your faith by how steady you stand. I measure it by how quickly you reach out from my hand.
That's powerful. I think people really need to hear that. We're so used to performing for everyone, even for you.
And yet, I never asked you to perform. I asked you to be present. You keep thinking you have to impress me, but I'm already impressed by the simple fact that you're still here, still trying, still coming back. Your effort doesn't scare me. Your tears don't disappoint me. I don't love you less when you're anxious. If anything, I draw closer because I know how heavy it feels to carry what you were never meant to carry alone. Let me carry it with you.
Jesus, I feel like you're not just talking to me right now. You're talking to everyone listening.
That's because I am. Anxiety may look different in each person, but its root is the same. Fear of what's next, fear of not being enough, fear of losing control. But there's something stronger than fear: love. Perfect love doesn't remove fear by force, it replaces it by presence. It walks into the room, turns on the light, and suddenly the darkness isn't as powerful anymore. That's what I'm doing right now, reminding you that you're not alone in the dark.
You know what's strange? I've heard those verses before. I've heard people say perfect love casts out fear. But hearing it like this, it doesn't sound like a quote anymore. It feels real.
Because truth isn't just meant to be remembered. It's meant to be received, lived, carried. You've memorized verses but forgotten how to breathe them. You've quoted me, but you haven't let me hold you. There's a difference.
Let me give you something simple. You're not failing if you're still feeling. You're healing. Anxiety doesn't mean your faith is broken. It means your heart is overwhelmed and your soul is tired. But tired hearts are still welcome here. I'm not asking you to fight harder. I'm inviting you to rest deeper. Let go of the war inside you. Lay down your sword, and let me remind you, peace isn't found when the storm ends. Peace is found when you let me sit with you in the middle of it.
You know, sometimes I listen to words like that and I feel something shift. Not everything, not instantly, but something. And maybe that's enough for today. Not a full answer, not a fix, but a shift. A reminder that I don't have to walk through anxiety alone. That I don't have to fight it to prove anything. That peace is still possible. Jesus, before we end, would you pray for the people listening? The ones who are barely holding on?
Of course. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath. My child, I see the fight inside you, the questions, the fear, the moments no one else knows about. But right here, right now, I speak peace over your mind, peace over your heart, peace over the storm you're in. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to know that I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Let my love be louder than your fear. Let my presence be stronger than your doubt. Let my grace meet you in the very place you thought you had to hide. You are not too far. You are not too broken. You are not forgotten. You are mine, and I'm walking with you, one breath at a time. Amen.
If that prayer touched you, I want you to know that wasn't just for a podcast. That was for you. And if you felt something today, if something inside you softened or shifted or woke up again, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment with a question you would ask Jesus if you could, because maybe your question will be the next one we bring here. Also, go ahead and like this video. It helps this message reach others who feel the same way but don't know where to turn. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to ChristCast. There's more coming. More peace, more questions, more of Him. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being brave. And above all, God bless you. See you in the next episode.
I'll be right here when you do.